27th WCO class, post. Class, front, face. At this time, could I have everyone rise for the posting of the colors? Colors post. During the Pledge of Allegiance, all uniformed personnel will be rendering the hand salute, which will be called. Class, left, face. Uniform personnel, present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Order, arms. Class, front, face. At ease.
Everyone may be seated at this time. Next, I'd like to welcome Senate Secretary and Parliamentarian Michael Gerdes.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here today to offer the invocation at today's ceremony. Let us pray. Dear God, we gather today to celebrate these dedicated individuals who have been called to serve this great Commonwealth. We ask that you bless the members of this graduating class and that you bestow upon them your wisdom and your courage. We ask you to protect and watch over each one of them as they commence this next stage of their careers. We thank you for calling these individuals to serve. Through their service, they make Pennsylvania a better place to live. Finally, we ask you to bless the families present, and we thank them for their support and their sacrifice. May they continue to love and support these graduates, and may they reap the benefits of the service of their loved ones. Amen.
Next, let us welcome Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission's Executive Director, Timothy Schaefer.
So, good morning again, everybody. And as you have not picked up so far, this is a public building and it's open to the public. So there may be people walking around, and if there's folks who are not members of the family, we're happy to have you join us here today to see what's going on. So this is the fourth graduation that we've conducted here in the Rotunda of the state capitol, and it's an absolutely spectacular location for the event. Take advantage of the beautiful building, take advantage of just sort of the grandeur of it and all that it means. And it really, to me, symbolizes the significance of what the cadets have gone through and what they're about to embark on. It is incredibly important work that they're about to do. So there's going to be lots of thank yous today. I'm sure there already was, but I always like to thank the families and friends and colleagues. Thank you for sharing your loved ones with us. It is a dynamite class, 8 outstanding individuals, and they really are a reflection of their support network. So thank you guys for producing a really wonderful set of officers. Thank you to Captain Justin Shalacy. Thank you to Officer Robinson, everybody at the Fish and Boat Commission who had a role in helping to shape the cadets in the Bureau of Law Enforcement, throughout the agency, to our sister agencies and partner organizations like the Game Commission, our friends at Mansfield University, who played a really significant role in shaping the cadets. We could not have done it without everybody. And most importantly, to the men and women. It's funny, like, you don't say men and women, but I'm saying men and women behind me. Thank you, and this is really directed at them. I told them at the beginning, thanks for picking us. They could have picked anybody, could have gone to work anywhere, but they decided to come here. So I want to thank them for that decision. So since you guys started this ride, a number of, 49 weeks ago, Justin? So, you guys have been counting the days, and last year we hosted the North American Wildlife Enforcement Officers Association Conference in Erie. A lot of our current officers were there, and Jason Dukoski, good former friend and colleague from the Game Commission, he said something there to everybody in attendance that I thought was really poignant. Jason said, make your days count and don't count your days. Make your days count and don't count your days. And I cannot blame the cadets for counting every day, to get the heck out of here, right? Of course you're counting your days. But now is certainly the time to make the days count. So I'm at the point, these guys are just getting started. I'm at the point in my career where I'm starting to see, colleagues who are a little bit older starting to retire, and it's a really surreal feeling. But a guy from the Fish and Wildlife Service, his name's Mike Slattery, really good long-term partner. He had worked in the state of Maryland and then had a long career with the Fish and Wildlife Service. He spent about 40 years in conservation, and he sent out a message to his colleagues upon his retirement that was so meaningful and poignant to me that I printed it out and kept a copy in my desk drawer. And I guess they say flattery is the sincerest form of a compliment. I'm going to read you some of the things that Mike wrote to his colleagues from across the country that I thought just really were so heartfelt. Mike said that at the end of his 40-year career, he found himself reflecting on the profound privilege of public service. I mean, this is a profound privilege that we all have to be in public service. I pinch myself every day. Kaylee, Denise, we all pinch ourselves like this is our job. It's awesome, and it really is a privilege to be doing this work. Mike went on, and I'll quote from Mike because he said it so well. It's been a fulfilling and rewarding path shaped by commitment, stewardship, and a deep sense of responsibility to our nation's natural resources, to the American people, and to one another. Every day has been a testament to the honor and integrity that define our calling. He went on to say that throughout the decades, I have witnessed the true meaning of stewardship and honor in action. Our work is not just about conserving fish and wildlife or protecting habitats. It's about exemplifying integrity, supporting one another, and recognizing that our efforts ripple far beyond ourselves. The privilege of being a public servant is measured not in accolades, but in the good that can be done and the respect and admiration you feel for each other. The cadets have chosen an honorable path, right? They've chosen an incredibly honorable path, and I know they'll carry it out, their calling with integrity. To the cadets and soon-to-be officers, that is who you are, and that's why you wear this uniform. As you head to your districts, keep the ripple effects of everything you do in mind. Every conversation that you have, every interaction that you have, particularly these days, somebody's watching. Somebody's watching, and will be noticing everything that you do and what you say. Back when you guys graduated at Mansfield, I'm pretty sure I quoted this because I was trying to read books about the American Revolution, just given the 250th anniversary, and I just read a book by John Adams that I've been quoting a lot from. But Adams, at the time of the Revolution, said to do good and to be good. To be good and to do good is all we have to do. To be good and to do good is all we have to do. And I've thought about that a lot in the past year, and as the cadets, as you go out, I always feel like I should turn around and be looking at them. So pretend like my eyes are in the back of the head. But as you go out and do good and be good, remember, that's all you have to do. You have been trained to act firmly, to act decisively. But as I think I told you before, never forget to do it with a smile, right? You got to be tough, but never, ever underestimate the power of being nice to the people that you're interacting with. Scott Chrisman, sergeant up in the Northeast, he's the only guy I've ever seen that would give a ticket, and then the person smiles and shakes his hand afterwards. Like, give me a break. But it's because, he was firm and nice, but he also was courteous when he did it. So never underestimate, the impact of just being nice to the people you're interacting with. So finally, to the families and friends that are here and to the new officers, you need to realize that while it might not always be readily apparent, that the decisions that I make, the decisions that your chain of command make, like, oh my gosh, why are they doing this? Anything that we do, every waking breath, we're doing in the best interest of the men and women who are behind me and your loved ones. Everything we do is in their best interest. So to the cadets and soon-to-be officers, we have complete faith in you. We want you to succeed, and we have your back. Congratulations.
All right, and now we have our next speaker, Director of the Bureau of Law Enforcement, Colonel Jeff Sabo.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining us today as we recognize our 27th Waterways Conservation Officer Training Class. Our Bureau of Law Enforcement actually began in 1873. When you look at the years that have passed since then, and you consider this is our 27th training class, you might think that's not too many. In actuality, we didn't start counting our training classes until 1965, so that's why we only have the 27th classes to this point. But we brought on officers numerous ways prior to 1965. In 1934, we actually dedicated a building as our training school located in Bellefonte in Center County. And in 1965, we rededicated that building to what is now known as the H.R. Stackhouse School of Fisheries, Conservation, and Watercraft Safety. And that's where this class participated in training for the past 30 weeks, if you will, to become officers and stand before us today upon their graduation. Since 1965, when our first class graduated, we had 308 individuals graduate since that time, and we're soon to have 316. So it's a tremendous testament in history that is our law enforcement program and the history that these officers are about to become a part of. When members of this training class first showed up back in August 2025 for their first day of training, I'm pretty confident in saying they didn't know what they were about to get themselves into. They knew they were going to be trained to become conservation officers, but they didn't understand the adversity that they were going to be faced with. Part of that adversity was being away from home. Part of that adversity was going to be changes to their training schedule that were out of their control. Part of it was going to be the physical and mental demands that the training program was going to face them with. But the bottom line when they showed up back in August of 2025 was that they showed up. And I'm sure many of you heard the quote, "The world is run by those that show up." And as I thought about that quote recently, it kind of speaks to this class and what we put them through. And I hate to say it like that, but it's part of the way they've been trained. Part of what they've gone through adversity-wise through a training program and part of what they're going to experience going forward and what is the demands of being a conservation officer. So when I first met the class again back in 2025, we talked about the adversity and the different things that they were going to have to go through. But what I also told them was if they continued and fought through that adversity and persevered, that they were going to be rewarded with the best job that they ever had. And after we had that conversation, they then moved on to about a 20-week training program at Mansfield University, where, again, they were faced with different issues and challenges that they had to overcome. They were tested mentally and physically through weekly tests and different standards through their curriculum. They had to do physical training on Mansfield's wonderful hills that the campus is built into, and they all persevered and made it through Mansfield. After Mansfield, they joined us in Bellefonte just in time for the wonderful winter that Bellefonte threw at them this past year. And they conducted firearm training and qualifications in frigid temperatures on the range that we have at our Bellefonte training facility. They were again asked to show up every Sunday after short weekends with family and friends to respond and report to training so that they'd be with us for a week session of training Monday through Friday. Not only were they back and forth to Bellefonte, but we also asked them to traverse the state back and forth through at least 12 weeks of field training. And they continued fighting through it, and they continued to show up, not only at Mansfield, but at Bellefonte, and overcome the adversity that we asked them to deal with and that they were faced with. And as they faced all this adversity, there was a lot of people along the way that offered them some help. And I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about some of those individuals today. To our Board of Commissioners and Director Schaefer, without your support of this training class, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be celebrating the class today. So thank you all. To Captain Justin Shalacy and Resident Service Officer Kyle Robinson, both of you probably spent more time with this class over the past year than they did with their families, and your dedication to the class is greatly appreciated. To our Bureau of Law Enforcement instructors and the instructors from our other bureaus, thank you for instilling your knowledge upon the members of the class. To Director Chris Wheeler and Chief Jim Bodine from the staff at Mansfield's Public Safety Institute, Jason Ropp from the PA Game Commission, District Judge Andrew Fish, thank you for the dedicated training you provided to the class. The class didn't see these two individuals much, but I wanted to thank Lieutenant Colonel Tom Edwards and Lieutenant Colonel Doug Daniels. Both of these individuals checked in routinely with Captain Shalacy and RSO Robinson to make sure that schedules were sorted out and to make sure the class had the equipment that they needed to get to the different training disciplines and to get through those disciplines and make it here today. The class saw the next two individuals even less than the individuals I mentioned, but I'd be tremendously remiss if I didn't highlight the work that Denise McCann and Liz Ammerheim do for not only our Bureau, but this training class behind the scenes. Denise is our Chief Administrative Officer for the Bureau of Law Enforcement and works countless ways to make sure the Bureau not only runs smoothly, but the training classes run smoothly. Liz helps Denise in numerous ways, and without their help, not only would I not be standing where I am, but they would not be standing where they are. So if we can just give all those individuals a quick round of applause, I'd appreciate it. Now, you had a little help to get to this point, but you're going to need a little bit more help going forward. There's two agencies represented here today that we worked hand in hand with over the years, and we will continue to work hand in hand with, and that's the Pennsylvania State Police and that's the Pennsylvania Game Commission. Trooper Samuel Parker is here from the State Police. If you can raise your hand, stand up real quick. And from the Game Commission, we have Colonel Rod Danley, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Rakowski, and Deputy Attorney Jason Ropp here with us today as well. So when we all met back in 2025 for the first time, I did tell you that if you stuck with our training program, overcame adversity, and continued to show up, that you're going to be rewarded with the best job you ever had. What I didn't tell them was that the best job wasn't always going to be easy. There's going to be trials and tribulations, dealing with the anglers and boaters that we encounter, protecting the waterways that we're commissioned to serve. Each one of you, however, have displayed a resolve to overcome adversity during our training program. And what I'm asking you to do from this point on, when you report to your districts this coming Monday, is to rely on that resolve and summon that resolve when you're faced with adversity going forward. I encourage you to maintain the drive and persevere and to continue to show up to run your districts, to protect our fisheries, to help our waterways, maintain safe navigation for all those that use them, and to help protect our aquatic resources. I congratulate
on training, such as ice rescue and emergency response training, where we jumped into a frozen lake in -16-degree weather and learned how to rescue one another. Other highlights were during swiftwater rescue, where we practiced rescuing each other out of the roaring whitewater rapids of Spring Creek and getting to race around in police cars during our emergency vehicle operation training at Mansfield University. These trainings were physically demanding, but some of our training was even more of a physical drain. I can vividly remember an instance where we were all lined up with RSO Robinson getting ready for PT. Next thing we know, Captain Schlesy came running out the back door and down the Spring Creek Canyon Trail. I remember we all stood there in bewilderment as RSO Robinson started yelling at us, telling us we had better catch up to Captain Schlesy. 13.1 miles later, we finally caught up. Previously, the furthest I had run was about 5 miles, so I never imagined I would ever run a half marathon. But I got it done, as did every other cadet, which is a testament to how this entire past year has been. No matter what was thrown at us, both mentally and physically, everyone here today was able to prevail. Not only did this training prepare us for the trials and tribulations of this career, but it strengthened our confidence in taking action and being prepared to take charge of any situation as needed. Before I conclude, our class wanted to acknowledge a few people. To all the instructors we've had at our HR Stackhouse training school this past year, whether it was CPR training, fish identification, boat handling, or courtroom procedures, along with so many other courses, we were always sure to learn from some of the best people in our agency as well as from other agencies. Thank you for preparing us to begin our careers after we graduate today. To Director Chris Wheeler, Chief Jim Bodine, and the other instructors at Mansfield University's Act 120 training program, your training provided us with the principles of policing that we will use for the rest of our careers, and we thank you for your instruction. To our Board of Commissioners and Executive Director Schaefer, thank you for providing us with the opportunity to participate in this training class. And last but not least, we want to acknowledge Captain Justin Schlesy and RSO Kyle Robinson for the time and attention you both devoted to our training class, as well as for participating in every single PT session right alongside us. Your commitment to ensuring we would get to this point is greatly appreciated. Thank you. This past year has challenged us in ways we never expected, but it has also shown us what we're capable of. I'm proud to stand beside the members of the 27th class of Waterways Conservation Officers, and I have no doubt that each of us will serve the Commonwealth with professionalism, integrity, and pride. Thank you, and congratulations to the 27th class of Waterways Conservation Officers.
All right. At this time, let's welcome Colonel Jeff Sabo back up here to administer the oath of office.
27th WCO class, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Dale
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I will perform all of my duties
and that I will perform all of my duties
as a Waterways Conservation Officer
as a Waterways Conservation Officer
according to the laws and regulations governing the same.
according to the laws and regulations governing the same.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
At this time, we are going to present the cadets with their credentials. I would like to ask those that are helping to present a credential to their cadet, please step forward. We're going to do this at the right side of the stairs here. And joining us will be Commissioner Dawn Anderson, Executive Director Tim Schaefer, and Colonel Jeff Sabo. Mary Blair, Western Schuylkill County, presenting credentials Deputy Game Warden Ryan Miller. David Durkitz, Northampton County. Jonathan Dingus, Northern Luzerne County, presenting credentials, Waterways Conservation Officer Colton Dingus. Ethan Duffy, Northern Susquehanna, Eastern Bradford Counties, presenting credentials, Pennsylvania State Trooper Samuel Parker. Caleb Knoll, Berks County. Derek, son of Frank, Delaware County. Owen Trumbull, Southern Chester County. Lastly, Reese Walter, Southern York County. At this time, we'll be presenting several other awards that a couple of cadets have earned over the course of the last 49 weeks. Again, sorry, you two, can I get you back up here for one more moment? Dawn Anderson, Commissioner Dawn Anderson, Executive Director Tim Schaefer. The first award is the Brooke R. Tolbert Firearms Excellence Award, recognizing a cadet who possesses extraordinary marksmanship during the firearms portion of their training, and that officer is Owen Trumbull. The next award is the Edward Manhart Academic Excellence Award, recognizing a cadet for their outstanding academic performance over the course of the training. The recipient of that award is Officer Reese Walter. We have one last award acknowledging the unwavering commitment of an individual who has worked tirelessly to ensure that the 27th class arrived to this day fully prepared and ready to fulfill their duties as Waterways conservation officers. The RSO award goes to Resident Service Officer Kyle Robinson. At this time, I'll be delivering some closing remarks. I originally was going to wing this, but Monday, as I was reviewing EPRs, one of you said something that really struck a note with me. When I asked you if you had any additional questions or concerns following the EPR, this cadet said to me, "Why did you choose me?" What a question to be asked 4 days prior to graduation. Took some time to write down my response after it was given on the cusp. And it applies to all of you. There are many things in our lives that happen that we truly cannot explain in simple terms. Maybe it's the break we catch when we needed it most. Perhaps it could be a coincidence of some type or other that leads to an answer you've been searching for. Maybe it's finding yourself standing in front of this crowd today at the Capitol serving as a training captain for a second class with the Fish and Boat Commission. While I've always believed that the path is laid out right there in front of you, you still must decide whether or not to walk it. You have to choose to put one foot in front of the other. You have to be willing to make the effort. If you're not willing to pursue the things you want most in life, you will never find yourself fulfilled. You must choose yourself. You must believe in yourself, and you must be willing to accept failure at times. I reminded this cadet that life doesn't get to decide whether you are successful or not. It's you that chooses the path each and every time. Because this cadet, and matter of fact, all of you, believed in yourselves and were willing to put in the hard work, were willing to accept failure, and continued to show up for yourselves, here you are today, now Waterways conservation officers. My message to all of you is this: you get to choose. You choose how you will begin each day, and you choose how you will end each day. You choose what you will do in the next chapter of your career and in your personal lives. Eventually, one day, you'll find yourselves reflecting back on the years you have not yet lived, and you will have to come to terms with the fact that it was you that chose. So make the choice. Choose yourselves. Congratulations once again. Go out there and be the difference. Thank you, everyone.